Hello, welcome to today's Freedom to Innovate webinar, during which we'll be discussing how AI-powered intelligent bots help engage your customers and employees. As these technologies continue to grow into the mainstream, your business will need to adapt. Consider the late 90s and early 2000s. The internet changed everything, and companies adopted the World Wide Web by establishing their own web presence, and websites flourished in a rapid pace. While we also had mobile phones, some you may remember the bricks such as Nokia, Ericsson, BlackBerry, dead. But it wasn't until Steve Jobs introduced the iPhone in 2007 that mobile really hit the mass market. So much so that 80% of people worldwide will have a smartphone by 2020. And now, given the recent breakthroughs in AI, we can scale much more cheaply and effectively in the cloud. Messaging apps are becoming platforms in their own right, and support is moving from voice to chat. This changes how we interface with technology in businesses. Conversational interfaces, be it text or voice, are the next big milestone in technology. That's not to say that each new technology is replacing the other. In the same way that apps did not mean the death of web, it will be the same for chatbots. It's not a choice of A, B, or C. It's more of a choice of D, all of the above. Businesses will need the ability to engage consumers at all levels, and with every use case, decide which one meets your need. I'm now going to introduce the panel. Firstly, we have LINUS, the Oracle EMEA sales consultant for app dev and mobile. Roy, the founder of BAM Mobile. And finally, John, a technology evangelist for Fishbowl Solutions and an Oracle ace. We're now going to see how technology put together for the Cloud Days chatbot. For those that don't know what the Cloud Days is, it's across EMEA in various different locations, and we have a variety of speakers, both internally and externally, so customers talking around the different aspects of Oracle Cloud and how it's helped their business. LINUS, tell us a bit about the background of the project.
Of course. So what we wanted to do was to create a chatbot where attendees and customers and partners and speakers could go to the event and also have a chatbot where they can ask, for example, how do I get to the event? Who is speaking there? What is the Wi-Fi password? This kind of information. So we reached out to a partner that could help us with the expertise needed to create such a chatbot. So that's when we reached out to you, Roy, and your team at BAM. So if you can just talk a bit us through that.
Sure. So we've done a bunch of chatbot stuff. We've had millions of conversations. We've kind of parsed them and looked them through and used that experience to create something useful and utilitarian for Oracle and its customers. So we've done a chatbot across 18 cities for the Cloud Day events. And it's gone really well, actually.
Great. And how do people gain access to this?
Yeah, well, it's really simple. Two key ways. One is by typing in the URL, and the messenger URL is m.me Cloud Day bot. But also very coolly, you can use your mobile phone to scan a messenger code. So simply put, you go into Messenger, you see a printout or an image somewhere, you tap on it on the messenger code, and lo and behold, up pops the bot. It's really simple and really powerful.
Brilliant. Did you want to show everyone how it's done?
Yeah, sure. So just have a look at it here. This is a demo of the Oracle Cloud Day chatbot for Facebook Messenger. So we developed this chatbot to help people to navigate themselves around the events, the Oracle Cloud Day events, as easy as possible. So people can come in and type in the location and type in their city and then find out information around the event. So for instance, if you're in the Nordics and going to a Stockholm event, you could use the bot to navigate your way through the event and have a smoother, kind of richer process as you went through the event. A lot of interesting information around at a glance and the agendas, what the speakers were, what things the speakers were talking about, where they were speaking, and so on. An interesting part of it too is the ability for users to type in questions, and we found that was very popular. So things like, ahead of the event, how do you get there? And the ability for the bot to kind of tie into external elements like Google Maps, etc., to make the kind of experience easier for people was a big part of it. As was things like the speakers themselves and information around what the speakers were doing and what tracks they were kind of talking at. So you could go into the bot, find out about the speakers, a little bit about their bios. You can connect to them on LinkedIn and various kind of socials, and also contact them afterwards too. So I think it was really much more around not just using the bot to kind of to help you around the event, but also to connect with people. I think that's a very important part of this. So that again was very popular, as was very simple questions like where's the Wi-Fi, which was the most popular question asked at all the events. So the bot can help you with that as well by typing in those sorts of simple questions and phrases. So that's the demo of the Oracle Cloud Day chatbot. Now back to Gemma, who's going to tell you some more.
So that was fantastic. So what if you wanted to support a new city or add a new speaker? How would you go about that? Is that really quite difficult for the developer?
Yeah, so the architecture that we've looked at while creating the chatbot is to obviously use the Oracle Intelligent Bot Framework to create the chatbot stuff. So that's really where Roy and his team has put his effort into developing the chatbot. But what we're doing is interacting with Content Experience Cloud, which means that we can surface all the content that we put into the Content Experience service to the chatbot. So that means that a team of marketing people within Oracle can very easily, without any technical skills, go into the Content Experience platform and just add content without needing to speak to a developer. So let me show you how to do that. So this is the user interface of Content Experience, which is a service that is powering all the content of the chatbot that Roy just showed you. So here we have all the different cities and regions and slots and speaker of our chatbot. And we can also go ahead here and contribute and search for items that already exist inside the content of the chatbot. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and search for Hans, which is the name of my colleague that is speaking at the Stockholm event. So here I would actually be able to go ahead and edit information and add more details about Hans that would then be surfaced into the chatbot. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and add a new speaker to one of the events. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and select speaker. I'm going to add my good friend Roy Murphy to the selection of the speakers. So when I do that, I can go ahead and add more details of Roy, like his Twitter profile, more description about him, but I can also assign him to one or more specific sessions that he's going to talk to in one of the events. So in this case, I'm assigning him to the Accenture keynote, which means that people in the chatbot can actually search for Accenture and they will have Roy Murphy as a speaker popping up. We also have a publishing flow we can go through to have someone approving the content before it reaches the live chatbot. So that's everything from me. So over again to the panel and Gemma.
That was really fascinating. So last year was your first time building the Cloud Day bot. What is going to be included in the future versions?
Sure. Well, interestingly, the Cloud Day bot is reusable, so it's scalable with the Oracle architecture moving forward for customers and attendees for other events. But really excitingly next is really drilling down on AI and NLP. That's the kind of the ability for the bot to converse and learn as it goes. Yeah. So we're really going to be drilling down to that to make it smarter, make it more usable for people going forward. So we're very excited about it.
Sounds really exciting. Thank you so much for that. We're now going to move over to John. John is now going to go through how chatbots can integrate into an on-prem and cloud applications. And he's also going to show us some real-life use cases. So over to you, John.
Perfect. Thanks, Gemma. So what I've done is I've pre-recorded an earlier demo that we can now take you through. Okay, so I'm going to take you guys through 3 scenarios today on how we can improve user experience with a chatbot for account managers. First, I'm going to take you through a day in the life of an account manager who's on site with a customer and show how we can transform his experience and effectiveness through a chatbot. Next, we'll be onboarding a new sales rep and providing interactive training through a chatbot experience. And then finally, enhancing an account manager's ability to engage a customer with knowledge from Oracle's Engagement Cloud. So let's talk about the first use case. Now, as an account manager, they get a lot of requests from pricing to stock to availability. And a lot of the time, they don't have direct access to this information. And we have to make a call through to their help desk team or sit down and access the on-prem environment through a laptop. Now, for this demo, I'm going to show an on-prem app, Oracle EBS, and the steps taken to just return the price of a part. And then I'll move on to how we can easily transform this into a conversational flow and the benefits from using a chatbot. Okay, so let's start by logging in to EBS's environment and taking a look at the account manager's current user experience. Once we're on the EBS home screen, we'll scroll down through the list of modules to try and find the module for pricing and availability. Now, I'll click on the order management, as I know the module is nested within here, and I'll open up the pricing availability form. Now, this will take some time to initiate, but eventually we'll get a Java applet that we can interact with from a laptop. Unfortunately, as it's a Java-based applet, we can't access or interact with the form from a mobile device. Now, what I'll do is I'll type in the part number, AS45888, and get the information on its price and availability. And you can see by selecting the pricing tab that one unit for that part costs $1,599. And I can also check its availability, and I can see that there's stock available in multiple distribution centers. Now, let's take a look at how we can transform that interaction into a chatbot experience. The conversational interface you can see here is written all in Oracle Jet, and I'll initiate the conversation flow by typing help, and you can see a list of sample commands that are available. So, as an account manager or a sales rep, I have my phone on me 24/7, and I can use it to interact with the chatbot by either talking to an application on the phone or by typing within the interface, what is the price of a part AS54888? Now, what's great is the bot already knows who I am and can make requests to EBS without me needing to log in, and can instantly query EBS to return the price of that part that I'm looking for, allowing me to provide a quick response to the customer there and then. The customer is interested in the part and asks me to check its availability. Now I can see that we have plenty of stock, and so the customer asks to place the order. I interact with the chatbot and tell it the part, the quantity, and also the closest distribution center and where to deliver the stock to. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to select Seattle is the warehouse distribution center, and then I'll select the delivery as the Fishbowl Solutions headquarters. And then I get a nice confirmation, which I then agree to that order. Okay, so now let's take a quick look at our onboarding bot, surfacing content collateral from the Oracle Content Experience Cloud to a sales rep to help assist with educating the rep on the bots and their capabilities. So let's initiate chat flow with a help command. This time we are provided with a set of interactive buttons which we can click on instead of typing commands to respond to. So let's get started and select Learn About Bots button. This brings back an overview on the bot. Now let's continue the flow and click on Intent. And you can see an overview on what an intent is. So essentially an input that can be mapped to a programmatic action. As we go through this, you can see that I can surface up custom UI elements. And as this is a chat interface, it is a custom Oracle Jet application that we can create any type of element, whereas with channels like Facebook and Slack, you're limited with the interface elements that are provided as part of the app. Now, if I wanted to, instead of clicking on the buttons, Smart Tour, I could simply just type in the command tour or show me a tour of bots, but it's much easier to click and interact with elements than type them in when you're in this type of a user journey. What you're seeing now is an overview of some of our chatbots that we have today. So we've got Atlas for querying EBS. We've got Atlas SE, our sales enablement bot for pulling sales tools, training, collateral from our Oracle Cloud. Ernst there for construction, project management, bot integration with third-party application called Procore. And then finally, our sales bot, which I'll give you a short demo on. As I was saying before, we have the ability to create our own UI elements. And here's another quick example of displaying and playing a YouTube video, which provides a guided example of ways to interact with a chatbot. We can also surface up a demo call script for sales reps to consume content from the Oracle Content Experience Cloud. And so you'll see this in a minute as soon as this video stops playing. So what I'll do now is I'll say, yes, I want some more information. I'll click on the bot scripts. And then this content is actually coming from Oracle's Cloud Content Experience platform. Right, so saving the best to last, this is our award-winning entry at Oracle Open World's Modern CX Hackathon in 2017 to show how mobile and chatbots could be integrated with the Oracle Engagement Cloud through a chat channel like Slack. Now, we built this for sales reps to be able to quickly gather core relevant information on their customers and make it easier for account managers taking over existing accounts to pull up vital information. From contact details to current opportunities, to service request status updates held on the Engagement Cloud platform. So we initiate the conversation flow with help. And what we're going to do is request information on the forward account. From here, I can access past orders, current opportunities, contact information, and see customer service requests and their status. And if I want to, I can also drill in from a conversational experience and access the cloud platform direct through a deep link. So what I'm going to do is just click on one of these links here, and what you'll see is a page will load up, and this will take me directly into the Engagement Cloud platform, directly into the service request dashboard. Now I can see that there's only one item that's critical, and these are all forward service requests, which I can see here. And there's one there that's being flagged as critical, which I can chase up with our team before calling the client to let them know our team is working on the case and that I'm just following up to see if there is anything I can help with. One of the things I also noticed on the Engagement Cloud is that they have a regular order that is usually placed about now. And if they're interested in placing that order through to me. So, thank you again for joining my session today. Now back to the panel with GEMMA.
Good job, John. So tell us, how do you go about connecting a chatbot to like an on-prem solution or an application?
Right, okay, so let me split this into two parts, the tech part and the user journey, right? Okay. So if we take a look at the EBS demo that we had earlier in our first use case, the EBS application, the on-prem application, the only way to connect to it was through the database. And what we actually did was we partnered up with another company called AuraPlayer, who actually provide an API layer, REST API layer, that makes it easier for us to interact with the on-prem application. So if I move on to the user flow, the way in which it's all put together, it's basically 4 steps. The user comes on to a chat interface and they type in their question to interact with the chatbot. So for example, what is the price of part AS45888? That message is then sent to the Oracle Cloud Service, mobile cloud application, and that intent is converted to an action, which is then passed to the Fishbowl framework. Now, the Fishbowl framework sees that action and it knows what type of service request to make to the EBS environment. So it then passes that request and any additional data that's extracted from the message to the EBS REST API, and then that does its stuff, at which point it returns a success message to our platform and any additional data, and then we pass that data back to the user as well as a follow-up question to maybe say, would you like to confirm this, or would you like to know what quantity is available on the system?
That was really smart stuff. So I saw that you had 2 different examples. One was more around unstructured bots, which is more of an intelligent type chatbot. And then the other one was about a structured bot, which was more menu driven. So what would be the use case for each of those?
Yeah, sure. So in our second demo, you saw an onboarding chatbot. And so what we were doing there is we were driving the user journey and the user flow through the conversational experience through a click interaction, through a set of buttons to take the user through a defined user journey. Yeah. Whereas with an unstructured journey, what's happening is the user has to think about the question that they're asking the chatbot. They type that in, and then the chatbot determines what the correct response is. Yeah.
Okay.
So
if there was like a definite sort of process, then that would be the point when we would go more down a structured route, because it's going to be the fastest way of getting to the point that they need.
Exactly, and onboarding just makes the perfect sense because, for example, the account manager at the time had no idea about chatbots, didn't know any questions, what to ask, like what's an intent, what's an utterance. And so with our flow, we had a button saying, show me what an utterance means. And so they clicked on that and then saw a description on what an utterance is.
Brilliant. And finally, how would someone go about creating these conversational sort of design? Because there must be a bit of a methodology that goes into that. Sure.
So we're really an integrator, so a technology company. So we like doing the connectors and all of that part. But what we do is we actually partner up with BAM, for example, just like Oracle did with their Cloud Day application. And BAM will sit down with the client and go through the user journey and user experience and all of that. And then what they'll do is they'll hand that across to us, and we'll put that into the Oracle Cloud, all of the conversations, all of the intents, and we'll actually integrate that with the Fishbowl framework, which already has connectors to all the different cloud applications, and also has integrations with the on-prem, as well as your different chat channels, whether it's Slack, Facebook, Jabber, Oracle Social Network. And so it's really that easy. Do you really want, Roy? Do you want to talk about
Sure.
how you fit in with this?
Yeah, we work very closely with the guys to give the customer the best experience possible, and the user the best experience. But we spend a lot of time focusing on conversation design, and that's really starting with the user and what they kind of are looking for and how they interact and the questions they ask. So we spend a load of time in that area, gathering data and sources of information from social and from official sources, etc. So once we've got that and we're happy that that's what the customer's after, we test it with them. We do a three-pronged attack, really. Three things we do, which is conversation design, it's a conversation tree. That's really working out the flow of every sort of interaction, every piece of user kind of choice and data and where they go. And then we apply that to keyword responses, so what the bot does when those inputs are coming in. And as we saw in the demo earlier, whether it's through kind of button presses and quick replies or it's through natural text, you get the right response back. And then once that's done, we're happy with that. We then obviously integrate with the guys like Fishbowl to get that data back into the right places, and then the bot goes from there. So it's quite a smooth process.
Great, that's amazing. So, you've heard two very different stories. When we consider different use cases, it could be to an internal audience or it's an external audience. It should be something that addresses a major pain point for you, to replace repetitive, time-consuming tasks, and to help you save money. Thanks to Linus, Roy, and John for joining me today, and thank you for watching. Now there's an opportunity for Q&A, so please send us your questions via the chat.